your service, Jerry.
My wife tells me I write like a girl, and he can't read it.
Well, I'm not good.
But he looks like a chicken had a seizure on his paper, Woody.
Every township, town, or village has its myths and legends. Some are steeped in fact, and some are just stories created to scare. No matter the origin, these legends keep us up at night, afraid to sleep. Our team will search out these myths and legends and bring fact to fiction. If you need our help, if you're bothered by things that go bump in the night, we're the ones who bump back. These are Living History's Mysteries.
We are at the Bethel Cemetery in Calvin Township, Cass County, Michigan. Welcome to this episode of Living History's Mysteries, right here on Living History Comes Alive.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us at the Bethel Cemetery. A little history of the Calvin settlement. Calvin settlement had many families from Virginia and North Carolina areas. Some were considered to be Indian or mixed Indian-African. The Bethel Church in Calvin Township was formed in about 1856. The earliest burial listed is an 18-year-old by the name of Lydia Ann White. Cemetery is located on near the Samuel Curtis property in the 1860 property listings. Among the towns, villages that are nearby here, Calvin Center, Michigan, Vandalia, Michigan, and Cassopolis, Michigan. Little history of Cass County. In October 1825, Yezo Putnam and his wife Anna and their 2-year-old daughter Ziltha packed up their belongings, including 3 oxen and 17 head of cattle, and left Fort Wayne, Indiana for Michigan's, stopping off in Niles, before settling in Pokagon, becoming one of the first permanent residents in Cass County, Michigan. Cass County named after Lewis Cass, who organized in 1829 when its population was about 900. However, a small community in Penn Township was the first county seat. But when it was discovered that residents reneged on the promise of land, the decision was declared null and void. A campaign for a new county seat began, and 40 acres was purchased for the foundation of the new village, Cassopolis, Michigan. In 1834, Cassopolis became the new county seat of Cass County. Moving forward in time, the normal east to west migration of the immigrants was reversed. Most immigrants had made it to west of Chicago, longed for the smaller communities, sold a lot, boarded steamships, heading eastward across Lake Michigan, eventually settling in Michigan. Cass County also had large communities of New Englanders, but also large groups of Native Americans, blacks from the South. In 1836, Henry H. Way, a Quaker preacher, returned to Cass County from the South with a fugitive slave named Lawson and settled him in Calvin Township. Soon, Cass County's Quakers, many of them whom left the South to escape slavery, was providing aid and comfort to escaped slaves among two different routes of the Underground Railroad. African American settlement within Cass County, Michigan was further promoted in 1849 with John Saunders, a Virginian who took his slaves, purchased land in Calvin Township, and built cabins for each family. An African American community soon developed through occasional harassment from Southerners attempting to return runaway slaves like the Kentucky wave of African Americans. Both escaped and freed, settled in Cass County in large numbers. By 1860, the county's African American population was larger than all the others except for Wayne and Fort Wayne, Indiana. African American settlers in Cass County built schools, churches, and were elected township officials. Some families chose to remain small-time farmers, and others yet enjoyed greater prosperity. 1873, when Cass County's African American population made up 7% of the county's whole population, William Allen, who had arrived in Cass County in the 1840s, was the county's principal stock buyer and owned 1,200 sheep, 100 hogs, and over 800 acres of land. And that is it.
All right, guys, that was a pretty thorough history of Cass County and its connection to Mount Zion and Calvin Center. You really can't skimp on that history, especially that connection with Virginia and North Carolina. It's amazing that the Quakers in northeastern Indiana thought so much of this area and so much of the freedom of an enslaved people that they were willing to put their own lives on the line to help those people out. And the Quakers that came from the Wayne County, Fort Wayne area in Indiana were instrumental in forming and helping keep control of the Underground Railroad up here to ensure that those freed slaves, those escaped slaves, not only made it as far as Michigan, but were dispersed all over Michigan, back east to the west, and even into Canada before it was all said and done. All right, guys, as usual, the sun has gone down. It's still reasonably light out here. We've done a little bit of preliminary investigating around here. I'm going to pull out the equipment. We're going to see what things are, or how things are registering while it's still light out. Then when it gets dark, we're going to see what happens.
Scanning.
All right, just a minute ago, we had the Paraloose going, and the arrow started pointing us over here towards the Artis family. Does anybody here have anything they'd like to say? Why was the arrow pulling us this direction? Mike might have been right. It's still wanting to point up that direction. But when I was walking this way, whenever I'd turn that direction, the arrow would start to go up. When I turned back this way, it come down level.
The brothers have unfinished business.
Does anybody here from the artist family have anything they'd like to say to us? We know you don't normally get visitors. I wanted to come out and pay respects to our United States collared troops.
Emulate.
I was getting ready to say, I and Mark and Mike all reenact the Civil War. We play soldiers who fought in that war. We emulate those soldiers, yes. Does anybody have anything else they'd like to say?
Keyring.
Keyring. Keyring. Mark's also carrying his keyring. Mike don't have a leg to stand on. He rode with us.
I got a key ring though.
Oh, he's got his keyring too.
Mine's just smaller than you guys.
Does anybody else here around the artist family have anything to say? All right, we're going to move down to the brothers. Thank you for talking to us, though. We really appreciate it. Rest well.
Scanning.
Thomas and J.T. Stewart, we're being drawn to you. Do you have something special to say?
Thomas?
Thomas is on the left, JT's on the right.
Thomas, why were you a deserter?
Day.
Day. The day is over. The sun is down. Tomorrow will be a new day.
Deserted January 12th, 1865. Is that the day you were trying to get us to figure out? What day you deserted the Army? Thomas, you listed saying that you were sick, but yet the Army say you deserted. Is that true?
Not.
What did you say?
Not. I asked him that, was he sick? Is that the reason why he deserted? And he said not. So what is the answer then? Were you sick or not?
Not.
Or you just put down you were sick, but yet you still had charges against you? But the Army was heat.
Chloe.
Chloe. Was Chloe your sweetie? Is that why you deserted? I'm sorry if these are hard questions. We came out here to learn about you. We came out here to learn about all of you troops.
Sentence.
Sentence. How long was your sentence?
He was arrested in Detroit and was sent back to his unit.
So you were forced to go back to the fighting?
Scanning stop.
I wonder if they have any business with each other.
All right, Christy was saying that she heard something back here a little bit ago. She was looking at a couple of the graves back here in the far northeast corner. So I wanted to come back here and turn on the Paraloose and the Raptor real quick and see if we can hear anything. Let me get this microphone situated here where you'll be able to hear both devices.
Beautiful noise there, man. Oh, it's so ready.
Scanning.
Does anybody have anything to say? I heard you was very talkative earlier.
Save.
Save. Do you need saved? Who did you save? I just heard it say Mark. Does the cemetery need saved?
Gary.
Gary.
Quite specific.
Huh?
So that's quite specific.
Yeah. Yeah, I was starting to say, see if you can find a Gary around here. Am I talking to Gary? All right, guys. It looks
Scanning
like
stop.
Christy and Mark found something. I just heard them say found it. So we're going to shut down. We're going to go over where they're at and see what they found.
So he would have been probably a Vietnam vet, maybe? Korean?
Scanning.
Great.
Hello, Gary. Gary Allen Curtis Jr.
Must have been Vietnam investigator.
Senior.
The picture.
Excuse me, sir. Someone said your name earlier.
We want to thank you for your service, Gary.
Do you have anything to say to us, Gary? Anything to say to anybody?
Abrasive.
Abrasive. You were in Vietnam. Do you mean rough? Yes. I hear you talking a lot. Do you remember what it was like in Vietnam?
Wild.
Wild. I've heard that a lot. Were you on the front lines, Gary? Were you right out there in the jungle fighting the Kong? Yes, I do.
Smoke.
Yes, I am. I'm smoking. You've been gone for a couple years. I know if you were a smoker, you're probably missing the taste of them. Are you looking him up, Mark?
Trying, not seeing much. Just like he served his country honorably.
Well, guys,
Yep, they bought
I don't know what to say.
side-by-side plots with tombstone. And she
This
can't fucking
place
stand me
is
most of the time.
so peaceful. As you could see by the EMPs, there is no one here at unrest. Christy thought a while ago she heard a child's voice, and there are a lot of children's graves here. But just because she heard a child's voice doesn't necessarily mean it's into rest or that it's restless. We've been from the west end to the east end. And frankly, this reminds me of doing the Prospect Cemetery in Cassopolis here a couple months ago when Mark couldn't join me on a Monday evening. And much like that place, all I found were spirits at peace. It's pretty cool. It really honestly is.
Earliest battle listed is an 18-year-old Lydia Ann White. Earliest battle listed is an 18-year-old Lydia Ann White.
Dude,
Is it Neen or near?
Near.
Okay.
Oxendine name. Oxendine is exclusively a Lumbee Indian name. And for explains.
Still rolling?
Yeah.
Okay.
Row.
All right. However, a small community in Penn Township was the first county seat. But when it was discovered that residents
My wife tells me I write like a girl, and he can't read it.
well, I'm not good at
But
cursive.
he looks like a chicken had a seizure on his paper when he reneged.
Well, I'm not saying that name.
You can't say that
That's
around
not-
black people.
That's not. There's re in it, reneged, which means you cheated on a
Is
deal.
that wrong?
Okay.
Pear.
Pear.
What?
Like the fruit or
No, pear as in a pear.
Scanning
I think
stop.
one of them may have been perverted. I might just want to edit that part out. They were at war.